Good day, beloveds. If you're new with joining me, my name's Sunny Mira Kirkland, and I am offering transmissions of the highest light, truth, and healing surrounding this lunar cycle and how to best utilize this energy for transformation and alignment. So as we start to tune in to the energies that are present through the Pisces eclipse, I'm just calling on the clearest vision, the highest and most relevant messages that will help us to transcend the limitations and the samskaras that we have built up within this human blueprint. I'm returning back to the original blueprint of truth, love, and wisdom, bringing forth any messages that may help us to attain the highest timeline, any messages that help us to enter into accelerated healing and the access of the wisdom of our higher self. And so be it. So one of the things that I have been receiving and observing leading up to the eclipse has been symptoms that are very similar to Mercury retrograde. That in technology seems to, there are interruptions in technology. I have also seen that related to the nervous system and our way of communicating with one another, interruptions, delays, misunderstandings. It hasn't quite been the signature of a Mercury retrograde, but there's definitely something that is involving that Mercurian connection, communication element that seems to be being affected. And this particular eclipse being Pisces and Virgo, it has a lot to do about our relationships and healing our relationships. And we actually have been working on relationship dynamics for quite a while now, and it really intensified around the last set of eclipses and then has been building over the last few months. Virgo being the sign of the healer, also has a very mothering quality to it, a nurturing and homely quality, the earth mother. And Pisces being so incredibly sensitive, so emotionally tuned in and turned on. And then having this axis between both of those polarities, I can start to sense the way that any emotions that have been suppressed, depressed, and pushed down, that have inhibited our healing, have inhibited our ability to communicate authentically, truthfully, that's starting to be pushed out. And I've seen that happening for, like I said, definitely the last few weeks building up to the eclipse. But in particular, within the window of the last 5 days of this full moon. So with Pisces is also the 12th house. It is spirituality, it's the unconscious, it's dreams, it's illusions, it's escapism, addiction. So really watching for these tendencies. Where may you see in your own life where you have some of these coping mechanisms of substance abuse, of codependency, of escapism, that are preventing you from sitting and being with the emotions that have been tucked away? And can you allow yourself the space to access, feel, resolve, speak to, express those emotions in a healthy and productive way? This is a great time. What I'm receiving right now is really a great time to lean into those relationships that truly are safe, that are places for us to reflect what is going on in our inner world as well as our outer world. Or to lean into the tools and the systems like counseling, energy work, even body work, things like that, and people within your surroundings that hold that space well for you to help you go through a digestion process and assimilation, a release. Huge time of release, right? Just like with every full moon, it is the completion point in every lunar cycle, every 28 days. So let's go ahead and start to pull the energy and the theme for this particular cycle. It says, do it your way, embrace your uniqueness, be untamed. This is the message of the wild rose. And you may not be able to see this real well. I'm still working out my situation with recording. Do it your way, the wild rose. And as I'm observing this card and the geometry of the card itself, you know, you ask yourself why it is that you have not allowed yourself to have those feelings or those emotions and express them. Is this because somewhere along the way it was inappropriate? You were told it was inappropriate to show those feelings or emotions, to be angry, to be sad, to be depressed, that there were other expectations placed on you? And can you start to ask those questions so that you can track and understand the mechanism behind the why? Why is it that I do this? Why is that this is a pattern? Why is this something maybe that I've inherited from my family? You can definitely pick up a lot when you're looking at the family traits. And I'm just going to continue to pull a few cards here. This particular reading seems to want to have all of the cards pulled first before giving a complete picture. But it feels fruitful. It feels like if you've ever been at a point in your life where you have a feeling that it's not just a feeling, it's that your experience is muted, right? Like music doesn't vibe as much, colors aren't as bright, tastes aren't as rich. There's a sense of maybe some of you have been in that place here more recently, and there's an opportunity, there's incredible opportunity through this time if you're able to fully meet what it is getting triggered, what it is that is getting surfaced, what you are experiencing in your outer world that's reflecting back to you something unresolved in your inner world. There's fertility. Actually, this is like many of you have been working on this and maybe you haven't seen the fruit of it and you haven't been able to feel the fertility of the soil that you've created. So you might have been composting and it's finally starting to reach this point where the soil is rich and there are minerals, and from this place you can actually start to plant seeds with the next lunar cycle, with the new moon. You'll be able to plant seeds that will bear fruit of incredible proportions. So you not just have a tree that fruits once, but maybe it has multiple fruits multiple times a year. So let's read on to what some of these cards represent and what the archetypes are. And I immediately just turn to it. So it also gives me a sense that to watch for the stories that you may have held, that you're a long way away from your destination or your goal, or you've got a long way to go. Just eliminate that whole story, that there's actually a wormhole directly to that timeline that you're hoping, willing, wanting, desiring to access. And so we have this card that's activating us right now. This is the Flower of Quetzal. This is from the Mayan Oracle deck. And she's associated with games and dance, song, joy, flowers, and almost anything beautiful. She presides over all artistic activities and is the patron of painters, weavers, sculptors, and stoneworkers. So it's a representation of the archetype of someone who brings happiness, of creativity, birthing. Oh, wow, this is amazing. So this deity happens to be paired with the other one that we pulled here, the Lord of Corn. So the noble flower is the feminine representation. She is creativity herself. She is fertility. And then it speaks in here of her hair formed the first divine woman that conjoined with the divine man, birthing the Lord of Corn, which is the card on the other side of this. So this is the energy that we're activating right now, that we have access to, if we're able to allow these things to surface, to move through, to observe them. And it doesn't feel like there's a whole lot of complexity to how to deal with it. It really is just about feel it, let it move. Feel it, follow the expression it wants to take. Feel it, trust the process that it wants to exit through your system. Keep in mind, it should be healthy. It should be unharmful to yourself and to others. It should be productive. I'm a huge fan of the 7 tools. Shout out to my boy, I'm not going to name you, but you know who you are, who taught me the 7 tools. And utilizing those to move the body in a way that gets those pockets of really suppressed emotions out of the body. And it can be like that. It can be very quick, very easy. So reading more into this point of activation in the energetic field, this is here to help you remember that life is beautiful and that you deserve to live with joy, happiness, and pleasure. You deserve to do what you love to do. And she invites you to explore your senses, to remember that your body is sensual. Your soul is happy when you feel completely in love with your life. Take time and remember the last time that you felt joy, just simply because you live, laugh, and love on this planet. And when you are happy and doing what you love to do, you are living in balance and equilibrium. When you live in this way, you bring harmony to the entire universe. And just let that settle into your bones. Let it settle into your nervous system. Maybe you have experienced in this body at some time before, a time when you were in love with life. And if you have, see if you can start to tune in, tap into that. And if you haven't, just acknowledging your own desire, right to have and live in a way that you are in love with. All beings everywhere. Loka samasta sukhinu bhavantu. May we all be free and happy, and may we live in such a way that it allows others to remember their ability to be free and happy as well. So there's both a challenge and an opportunity. This card here, Mama Kila. To me, as I'm looking at her, she really represents this eclipse energy. You can see the phases of the moon there. You can see the puma, and you can also see the hummingbird. And it has this shadowy, dark feeling to it. But from the presence of, or from the state of awareness of the darkness is alive to give birth. The darkness is not something to fear. The darkness is a part of the duality that we live in that is necessary for balance and equilibrium. This is the mandala of the moon. And it says, I, the lunar mother, bring you my mandala of the moon to manifest through the law of magnetic attraction. My mandala is the sacred portal through which your dreams, intentions, and visions shall pass into wholeness of being from the realm of inspiration into the world of form on earth. There is no need for doubt or concern, for even the appearance of delay signifies that the divine feminine mystery is at work, with timing unfolding according to a higher loving wisdom. Trust that a falling away is meant to be, and have faith in new divine works being born. Many of you are being asked to surrender, to disconnect, to completely release your attachments, your willingness to linger and hold on to that which no longer is living, that which no longer the current of life is serving you, serving those around you. It speaks in here of the delay, just what we were talking about in the very beginning, that there's like almost this mercurial effect where there's delays in communication. And there may be things dropping out of your system and out of your life that are actually preparing a space for that tree to grow from the fertile ground. So you tend it with care, you let it go without resistance. And if you have resistance, that's okay. We're all human. We are all going to have resistance to pain, to letting go, to change, to the unfamiliar and the unknown. But this is calling you into a deeper trust in life. Not a trust in the person, not a trust in the situation. It is far beyond that. It is your trust in the guiding light of life itself that is presenting you with the perfect circumstances to lead a path towards your divine destiny, towards pleasure, towards enjoyment, towards loving your life. Can you trust enough to let it fall away? This oracle brings a sign that creative works will reach fulfillment. Relax with trust and positive expectation that all your needs will be met. This is about tuning in to the law of attraction. Watch where you are polarizing your energy. The Piscean energy is making it much more difficult to grasp onto what is real. So the only thing that we truly can attune ourselves to that will take us towards the light is the heart, is going into the home within the heart, going into your prayer space, going into your meditation space that takes you back into the light of the heart, into that sacred sanctuary of silence. Things are changing, even if you cannot see the physical evidence of it. And trust that your actions leading you into a better way of life. You must rely on the universe, and you shall see how all things come together according to a timing and higher order that suits you in ways even better than you could have imagined yourself. And where that will take us is to the awareness that you have the capacity to create everything you need. Now, that doesn't mean everything that you want, but everything that you need. I can tell you from my personal experience, in particular in the last month, there is absolutely nothing that can stand in the way of you and your destiny if you are willing to trust and let go as you are guided to release, to trust and accept, to be willing to trust that the universe is orchestrating everything in your favor, even when it doesn't appear that way, even when it doesn't feel that way. Reconnect with your inner power of creation. And it's just that simple. It was just those 2 lines there. It's that simple. It also could be useful to work with the stones of crystal, amber, and jade. That's what this oracle is offering. And I'm going to circle back around to the theme of the entire reading, which is the wild rose. To be untamed. And as I'm saying this, it's like all of the ways that you have chosen to craft yourself according to what you think would be appropriate and acceptable by your environment, your society, your family, that this is the destructive phase of all of that. All of the inauthentic, fear-based personalities, the masks that have been created. This is the destruction of all of those things. And so anything that you have identified with outside of yourself that has affirmed that mask and that persona is going to fall away. It's going to decompose. And your job is to sit back and say, all right, I accept that that is not meant to be anymore. Okay, I accept that this is not meant to be anymore. All right, I accept that I must be the one to let go of this. I must be the one to stop that. Or I must be the one to engage with this, to connect with that. You must take ownership. The process of surrender doesn't mean necessarily sitting back, but it's that all of these old concepts about what is not truly you in your most authentic form is being destroyed, is being removed so that the wild rose may grow, so that your most unique traits and characteristics that will bring forth this new earth and a beautiful new beginning in your life, where you're able to love your life in such a way that every day you wake up with excitement for the possibility, for the gratitude that has been bestowed upon you, to live in a way that you feel the blessing of life reflecting back to you that of which you are. And I'm just feeling that in my own life, in my own field. This card is the last one in the deck. So for many who have been on this path and really been in devotion to life, this is the last card. Do it your way. If someone says that you're not normal, say thank you. If someone says that what you're doing isn't normal, say naturally. The wild rose knows that no one rose is the same as another, and she doesn't try to bloom in a neat row according to a schedule. She doesn't open and close according to who walks by. She trusts her timing, and she blooms with wild abandon. She's resilient. She knows who she is. The wild rose knows her true, unique nature, and she wants you to remember yours too. She knows that what makes you wild makes you free. That it's what's kept us contained that's causing us harm. That our diverse, unique nature is what's needed now more than ever. And the transmission with this card that is offered, that I invite you to invoke and to speak or to feel inside your own heart, is I free myself of what keeps me captive. I allow the unique wilderness within me to be free. And if you feel called to working with mantra, the songs that use the mantra Loka Samasta Sukhino Bhavantu. Singing that mantra, playing that in your surrounding, that will help to create a container for you to attune energetically, for you to go through that wormhole and just to attune yourself to the resonance of freedom and happiness, so that you carry that through your day, and everything that you come in contact with and every person you come in contact with in your environment begins to receive and pick up on that. So I leave you with this, beloveds. If you appreciated this reading, hit like, subscribe, share it if it's something that you feel would serve others. I'm so incredibly grateful for all of you who always comment in. I love to hear how you're doing and to receive your reflections, and for just receiving this message, for being willing to listen and to attune and then to transmit this to others around you. So grateful, and until we meet again, stay pure, keep it simple. Pura vida.